Da, 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 da.
Greetings, fellow test subjects. Test subject 1337 here for Aperture Gaming. They make it. We test it. You play it. And now it's time to be blowing off some steam with a B.O.S. review. Now, this game came out recently. It has been a huge talk for many years, and it's weird. This game it's a mixed bag. Its release has generated a whole bunch of pros and cons and a whole bunch of news about it. So, what is this game exactly? Well, let's get into the review, and I will tell you.
Series.
The name of the game is Palworld. Now, I don't think it's a sequel, prequel, or in betweenquel, but I'm trying to figure out if it's in the same universe as Craftopia. Why do I ask that? Because this game and Craftopia are both made by the same people.
Team.
And those people, this game is developed and produced by Pocket Pair.
Plot.
Now, when this game was released, the trailer, everyone was like, oh, it's Pokemon but with firearms. But it seems to be a little bit more than that. So here's what. You start the game, you wake up on an island surrounded by strange creatures. And your job is to find a way to survive on this island and the adjacent locations by building a habitable structure. Fighting, capturing, taming, and training the pals. Fighting off and having to resist, having to fight them. And there's apparently the evil Rain Corporation, Rayne. Yeah, so you have to deal with the elements, the pals, and the Rain Corporation. So yeah, and obviously since of course, like I say, it's Pokemon with firearms, but there's more to it than that. So just hang on one second.
Gameplay controls.
Okay, so while the idea is that it is Pokemon with firearms, first off, the waking up on the deserted island thing, and how you build a structure to try to sustain yourself. So first of all, yes, you have up to 6 pals that you can keep with on your person at a time, and the rest go to a computer storage at your base. You make a base. It's kind of reminds me a little bit of. All right, so the game I'd say is a little mixture of Pokemon, Minecraft, uh, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of Wild / Tears of the Kingdom, and the whole survival aspect. It kind of, when I first started off, it kind of reminded me of the Fountain of Youth game that I played last year. For that, because you have to eat food to sustain yourself. You have to wear clothing in certain areas. You have to wear like warm clothing in this area, or tropical clothing if it's a hot area. You have to You have to fight. When you first fight the pals, you have to either do it with your fists, or a club, or an axe, or a bow and arrow. Yeah, you don't get firearms till later on. Yeah, and then you have a base where you have to make a house, make a bed, make fire, make a workbench, repair a bench. You have to make stuff to like. And here's the thing: as you level up in the game, you earn tech points for your you have like a handheld device, it's like the Sheikah Slate, but it's not. And when you level up, you get tech points. Like you get 7 points. You get 1 point to unlock this blueprint, and 2 points to unlock this blueprint. And as you keep leveling up, you have to figure out like which ones you need immediately and which ones you can hold off and save for later. Yeah, you walk around. You can swim, climb, jump, run, and you can even unlock a saddle for you to ride on certain pals. So you have to. So it's basically resource gathering and monster fighting and collecting and training, and also having to deal with the Rain Corporation. An interesting thing. I wanted to do this as a test because I've heard stuff from other people. You can actually throw a PAL capture sphere device at people, but when I tried it, I couldn't capture them. So yeah, it's only just for the monsters running around. So there's that.
Graphics.
The graphics in this game look really good. Now here's what. Yeah, it's a semi-realistic looking landscape, and then you have these cartoonish creatures running around. So I think it's pretty cool. Seeing as how with Pokemon came out during the Game Boy era, and now we're in the Switch era, so it is cool to see how we've had the Pokemon evolve from very pixely to smooth animation. But yes, the characters look pretty good, and the environment looks good. There's like a few nitpicks here and there I have about graphics, but I'll cover that in the issues area. But I love the way the look of the rocks, the the stuff you harvest, the pals, the people. It all looks really good.
Audio.
The audio is pretty good also. While the characters don't have like full verbal dialogue. Like it's interesting to hear the pals make their noises for when they're talking or when they're doing an attack and when you're walking around. I have some issues about the audio stuff, but we'll cover that in a few moments.
Multiplayer.
While the game is single playerable, it does have a feature for online co-op multiplayer effect. So yeah, it is a multiplayer game also.
DLC.
Currently, the only DLC, there's two DLCs. First, there's the soundtrack, and secondly, this game is early access release. So, in the times I've played it, it's gotten an update. So, it's getting patch updates because they felt it was able to be released early enough. So, I assume as the game goes further on, after it gets out of early access and into full release, it'll keep getting more DLC, and then it'll get some main game DLC. So, I'm pretty sure we're going to see more DLC.
Issues.
Okay, there are a couple of issues. The water, I passed by a few lakes and running rivers and waterfalls, but I didn't really hear the water effect, and I think I may have had a little trouble with hearing the swimming effect also. So there's some audio issues, and once in the equipment loadout area, I equipped a bow and arrow, and suddenly my character, who you're able to customize. Yeah, for graphics you can customize what your character looks like partially, but for face, hair, body type a little bit. Yeah, but when I equipped the bow and arrow, it went into the generic T pose. So there is a few issues. But like I said, it's early access. Now, there's some issues outside of the game I'll talk about near the end of the video, but that's just the internal stuff for right now.
Buy, rent, or pass.
I was super excited when I saw this game. I saw the trailer come out a few years ago. I was like, hey, this looks pretty cool, and I was excited when it was finally announced it was coming out. I'm a fan of. I'm enjoying the game. So if you like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom, if you like Minecraft, if you like survival, and if you're a fan of the Pokemon franchise, then I think Palworld will be for you. I'd say this is a definite buy.
Overall score.
Yeah, I think Palworld is good. Now, someone made a funny meme involving Sheen saying how Palworld will be the game that topples the Pokemon franchise. And I don't think so because then someone says, Sheen, this is the fourth game you said would do that. I don't remember what all four of them were. Well, one of them was, I don't know what it was, but one of them was Yokai Watch. One was Cassette Beasts. It's another game on Steam. I think we have to check that out. And then of course you have the OG that started the copy trend, Digimon. So yeah, and so here's what the copy thing. I give Palworld, even in its early access, I give it a solid 10 out of 10. Now, the problem is that I've heard this. For starters, that Nintendo might be looking at Palworld because someone pointed out how a few of the Pals are just basically blatantly copy Pokemon looks. So I think they may have to. I don't know. Maybe a color alteration or maybe some shapes and other stuff. Who knows how much change has to go involved for this? Nintendo is aware of the games. There is articles going on. In fact, one article I think I saw was how the artists behind the game, they've been getting death threats. Seriously, death threats. They're fictitious monsters in a fictitious world in a game. I don't think that should warrant, a threat against someone's life. Also, I remember Yahtzee in one of his videos when he was ragging on Smash Brothers. People were mad at him for doing that. And I think he said, Nintendo is a big boy. It can defend itself. It doesn't need small critics like me are not going to hurt it, and it doesn't need its fans coming to its defense or something along that line. So yeah, I think whatever's going on, hopefully Nintendo and Pocket Pair can sort things out peacefully without threats being sent to the art department of one of the game studios. Yeah, it's a fun little take, and also as you carry around stuff, you have a weight limit, so maybe a little bit of the exploration, gathering. Very one small minor part I remember. I always reference back to Fallout, the whole weight carry system. But yeah, it's a fun game, and I recommend you try it. And just like I said, enjoy it. It's a game. It's fun. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. Until next time, this has been Test Subject 1337 for Aperture Gaming saying thank you for watching, and I'm glad we got to blow off some steam with a boss review. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Until next time, have a nice day, and game on.